All right, Delicata squash. Who's heard of it? Who's used it before? Have you eaten it? Well, this week I had this yummy little squash. It's kind of skinny, not super big. Looks like this on the inside. I have one cut open. Had this delicious meal when I was out in downtown Seattle. It was the special of the night. It was a Delicata squash with a house-made duck sausage. Some people might not like duck. I don't care. You'd like what they were serving. It was so good. So it was like this crispy duck sausage with the roasted Delicata squash. And then they had a goat cheese herbed crema. And it was super fancy. And oh, and a rye, crispy rye almond crumble. I mean, I was like, what am I eating? And it was so good. So I'm gonna try to recreate it. I don't know what I'm doing, but come along, enjoy the ride. I also wanted to just make a note, keeping it real. I haven't showered yet today, and I almost didn't film this, and it could be my greatest creation yet, who knows? But I'm like, get over yourself, put on some lipstick, have your glasses on. People don't care what you look like. So if you don't like what I look like, then you don't have to watch. But I just wanted to say, be yourselves. I am. Let's just be brave, put ourselves out there. All right, here we go. Okay, so you get a little spoon, cut this guy in half. Take your spoon, and just like what I did with my spaghetti squash, if you haven't watched that video, it's very fun. You're just gonna scrape out the seeds. These guys come out real easy, not too difficult, and I'll go get my garbage in a second. But you just scrape these out, and then I'm going to cut these squashes in half, or excuse me, well, half, but little moons. So I'll flip them this way, and then with my knife, kind of got a mess. See how professional I am? Okay, we'll just take one. With my knife, I'm just gonna cut that in half. And then I'm gonna do just these little, I'd say maybe 1/4 inch thick. Hopefully you're seeing this because I can't see what my phone is seeing. You're just gonna slice these guys up. I'm gonna get them all put into a bowl, put them on a sheet tray, toss them with some oil, and get them roasted for my experimental dish. Delicata squash on a sheet tray, tossed with some avocado oil, salt, pepper, in the oven, roasting away. Hi. Okay, so like I said, I don't really know what I'm doing. I had this delicious dish, but I'm trying to do my best. I bought some really good quality, mild Italian sausage, and I'm going to open up those. I last time showed you how you could squeeze sausage out of a casing for the orecchiette sausage and broccoli rabe. You also can just snip right on the edge and then basically cut through the casing like this, and boom. I meant to say that last time and I didn't. And then there you go. Your sausage is right there. So I'm gonna get my sausage browned up. Another thing I have going over here, this is probably about 4 or 5 ounces of goat cheese. I took a block of goat cheese. I added cream and a bunch of herbs. So kind of can be whatever you want. I don't know what herbs they use because I just ate the dish and went nuts. So I felt like I tasted some thyme, maybe some chives. So I added a good amount of dried thyme because I don't have fresh right now. Some chives, a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder, and a little bit of basil. So we'll see. So that's the crema, and I'll show you how I put this together in a little bit, but that's the crema that they put in the bottom of the bowl. Then the roasted Delicata squash with the crispy sausage, and then there was this little crumble, and I'm not gonna do mine with nuts, but I'm gonna take some panko breadcrumbs with olive oil and then get that toasted up so it's nice and crisp in a pan, and then that'll be the kind of crunchy element. It's gonna be so good. Okay, so we got a few things going on in here. These are my panko breadcrumbs. See how they're just getting a little bit golden brown? And I just put a touch of butter in there and then toss the breadcrumbs. This is the brand that I happened to buy last time, but I just tossed them in a bowl with a little bit of olive oil. I have them on medium heat, and they're just toasting. You do have to watch them, but that's gonna be the crunchy element that'll be on top of the dish. This right here is called an apple gastrique or something of the sort. So you can look at me now. Over here, hi. So what the hell's a gastrique, right? I actually just Googled it. Even though we made them in school, I'm always like, I know it's a vinegar sugar thing, but essentially it is. It's a reduction of vinegar and sugar. And in this dish that I had at this restaurant, Purple Cafe and Wine Bar, Tucker, calm down. It was an apple gastrique on the menu. I don't know what they did, so I literally put in this little pan here, just like probably a couple tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Same thing, couple tablespoons of sugar, and then we had a little bit of apple cider that I put in there as well, and I'm just letting it kind of boil and reduce to a syrup, and I'm gonna put some of that on. I don't know if that's what they did, but I'm just guessing. So, this is what you can do. You can have a recipe, go home and Google everything, and throw it together, and just make it up. So, I'm gonna bring all the elements together pretty quickly, and I'll show you what it looks like when I have it all together. Tucker's excited. Delicata squash probably was in there. It was about 400 degrees for 20 minutes maybe, because they're cut pretty thin, and they just look like this. They're like cute little, well, the letter C, upside down rainbow, I don't know. But the cool thing with this that I wanted to mention is the skin is really thin. So you actually can eat the whole thing. They're super good. So I bake on parchment. What I'm gonna do is actually pick up the parchment. The pan's still hot. But I'm just gonna gather up my parchment here. And watch me. I'm taking the whole thing over to my sizzling pan of sausage, because all the flavor with that sausage is so good. And you guys, I already had cooked it, but I turned it on. I just turned it off actually, but I turned it on again. The trick with this dish, what I think made it so flavorful, granted it was house-made duck sausage, you just can't beat something like that. But I did buy high quality, mild Italian, but the meat was super crispy. So that just means when you cook it, you keep breaking it apart and then let it hang out in the pan. I've talked about that before in my videos. But let it hang out in the pan, get nice and crisp, and it just adds this really lovely texture. So I'm just gonna fold this squash into the meat. And then I think I have the right tool. Come over here with me. So, nice big bowl. You could do a different kind of bowl, but I have these fun bowls. So what I'll do, this is goat cheese. Like I said, I mixed in a fair amount. See how it's not super thick, but it's not super saucy either. I mixed in a fair amount of cream, and then I also added some half and half, because I was like, ugh, that's a lot of cream. And some herbs. This is how they had it in the presentation that I had. So they smear this around already. I'm drooling because it's goat cheese and it's amazing. So that in the bottom of the bowl. Okay, come over here, get yourself some of this sausage and squash happening. Probably could use a little more squash to my sausage ratio, but Scott won't be sad about that, will you, hun? He's saying no. He's filming right now. He's the best. So some of that squash. And then right here, these little crispies all over the top. And again, it's just that panko breadcrumb. And then with this business, I don't even know what to do with it. But I think I would probably, I won't do it right now, but I'll get a little spoon and I'll drizzle a little bit of this mixture of the vinegar, sugar reduction, and just drizzle that over. And that's gonna be it. I'm gonna taste it right now because I'm super excited to try this. So, it's not gonna be like the restaurant, but it might be close. Scott's like looking excited, so he's kind of going, hurry up. Let's have this. So creamy goat cheese, crispy sausage, delicata squash. You guys. Oh yeah. It's not the same, but it's super good. Holy smokes. Oh my gosh. Brenda Davis, I think I did it. You have to try it. She was my friend that was with me when we had it. We were groaning. It was ridiculous. So good. One of the differences with the restaurant version, in those breadcrumbs, they had done some fine chopped almonds, but Scott's allergic to nuts, so we skipped the nuts. But the crispy breadcrumbs makes the same thing, and I don't even know about the gastrique. I suppose it would add an element, but right now, just because I didn't want to mess with it, you know, filming video and all. So, one thing I also love about this, you guys, if you are somebody who can't have gluten-free, and if you did want to do an alternative sausage, I would totally recommend making sure you get something that has enough fat in it, because part of what makes it crispy is the fat that's rendered out of that meat. Then you're left with a really crispy meat. And so if you did like a turkey sausage that's really lean, you might not get the same effect. It'll still be good, but it just won't have quite as much flavor. So this isn't, again, one of those dishes you want to try and be like super healthy. Serve it with a salad on the side, arugula or something, or spinach, and you can feel real good about it. But give this one a try. Super different. permission to make things up and try it. I had no recipe. I just thought I'd take you along for the journey with my unshowered self on a Saturday night and see what I came up with. So here you go. Enjoy it. Delicata squash with crispy sausage and goat cheese crema. That's what I'll call it. Delight of the bite.